We have a question from Lumifer who wants to know about toxic relationships.
Lumifer.
Lumifer.
That's a great name and or handle.
Yeah, well, actually, rather toxic friendships. So the question is, how do I end a long friendship that has turned toxic over the years? For example, nowadays the friend guilt trips me a lot and makes promises and doesn't deliver, etc. This has been going on for almost 2 of the 7 years I've known her. I feel like ghosting is better than telling her something, but is there a better way to end the friendship? And how would you do it? Love the podcast and the main channel. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts.
Cool. Also, I wanted to correct myself. I thought I got that wrong. The Shah of Iran was overthrown in 79, not 73. Sorry. I knew that. That didn't feel right.
So, yeah, what do? You have a toxic friend. She is, what does it say? Selfish.
It says, friend guilt trips me a lot and makes promises and doesn't deliver, for example.
How do you end the friendship? Do you ghost? What do you do?
I think the question is, do I say to you, or do I say to this person, I don't want to be your friend, or do I just ghost them, or is there a third option?
With all of these situations, I go, what is your ideal circumstance? And if the ideal is they change and we remain friends, then I would shoot for your ideal, which could be the most productive outcome, which is you would sit down with this person, say, hey, this isn't easy to say, you open them up, but I have something to tell you that I've been thinking about, and it's not easy, you get them ready and primed to listen, but these particular behaviors you speak in when you give a particular behavior and you say how you feel so that they cannot say that's untrue, right? Because they did in fact do that behavior, and what you feel is what you feel.
Yeah, so it's not because you're flaky I don't want to be friends. It's when we made plans the last 2 times and you said you would pick me up, you didn't pick me up, and that made me feel undervalued,
like
and
you don't care.
Our friendship is starting to lose its appeal to me because of instances like that.
Yeah. And if it is the case that you want to remain friends, you could say, I'm telling you this because I don't want to not be friends with you, but I feel if that continues that I would not.
Yeah,
be
you
friends
end on the
with
positive note. You kind of paint the positive scenario. You go, I don't want that. What I want is for us to be close and help each other. And when we say things, we're going to do them, and blah, blah, blah. And
and from there you go, so I wanted to tell you, and then you ask for the change. I would like to, will you change X, Y, and Z? And normally when approached in that way, you'll get a yes. And then you see if they change. If they do, you guys can continue to be friends, hopefully with a bit more honest communication about the particular things that you're not liking, which I do think is important. And if not, that's it. Now, I've had scenarios that have gone the other way, where it's like this person is not going to stop doing this thing. They think that they're justified in whatever toxic behaviors they're continuing to do.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And in those cases, I had a similar conversation where I said, when this person, for instance, was a friend in a different country, and I wasn't calling him as often as he wanted me to. So when I'd get on the phone, he would lecture me about not calling him. And I said, when you lectured me for not calling you, it makes me want to call you even less. And I would like you to not do that. He says, well, you don't call, and then you don't call me enough. And then in the same conversation, he lectured me for something else that I was doing that he didn't approve of. And it was a very judgmental relationship. I said, I don't want to do this anymore, is eventually what I said. I was like, I don't want to do this. If you want to talk and not do this, then you can call me, but I won't be calling you, is what I said. And we haven't spoken since. And that was the ideal, which is we have a good relationship or we don't have a relationship. And so I got my ideal given what was on the table for me. So I think that I would recommend a similar thing, and it can go either way.